I would like to welcome you to Orca Stadium. Being a part of SeaWorld's mission is more than just a job. We are proud of what we do, and it is a privilege for us to care for, build relationships with, teach and learn from these amazing animals. Now more than ever, we are honored to share our relationships with the whales and what we've learned with all of you. And now, SeaWorld proudly presents Orca Encounter!
Our world has one interconnected ocean. A vast blue expanse critical to life on Earth. And there's no better animal to represent the ocean's beauty than the killer whale.
They live in every corner of the ocean, from the Arctic to the Atlantic, the Southern to the Indian, to the Pacific and beyond.
The killer whale story is the ocean story, and it's one we all share.
We are one world, united by our ocean.
You hear the waves
learning abilities. These behaviors keep our whales active and engaged. SeaWorld's killer whales have inspired generations around the world, and we're excited to share their stories with you today.
Killer whales are the ocean's top predator. They use cooperation and communication, not just size and strength, to take their place at the top of the ocean's food web. At the bottom are small animals, like krill. At the top, the apex predator, the killer whale. Killer whales are as big as a bus, faster than an Olympic swimmer, high flying and powerful.
We're going to see all of that and more. These behaviors contribute to an environment that is full of enrichment.
We spend days, weeks, months, years building relationships with our whales. This creates trust, and that allows us to do some amazing things. For example, when you visit the doctor, you present your arm to draw blood, or step on the scale to see how much you weigh. It's much the same with our whales.
Today, you'll see the whales moving together in unison. These synchronized behaviors strengthen social bonds and enable them to problem solve as a group. Working together as a team is what makes them the ocean's top predator. Scientifically known as Orca, commonly referred to as killer whales. Here at SeaWorld, we know them as Katina, Milani, Malia, Turwa, and Makayo, our killer whale family. Makayo is the youngest whale at just 14 years old, and the oldest is Makayo's mother, Katina, who is also the matriarch or leader of our pod. SeaWorld's animal training techniques create a language between us and the whales. It's a language of learning, through positive reinforcement, encouragement, commitment, and care. Through these techniques and our relationships, the whales learn to trust us. They even learn to take an active role in their very own health and well-being. Here at SeaWorld, anytime that we interact with our whales, it's called a session, and there are a wide variety of different kinds of training sessions that we can do with our whales. We have things like exercise sessions, which showcase those high-energy behaviors that you saw at the start of our presentation. There are those high jumps and really fast swims. Killer whales are very athletic, and so it's really important to make sure that they are keeping in shape. We also have learning sessions where we teach the whales new things. Killer whales are very curious animals, so we're constantly looking for ways to keep them active and engaged and keep them learning. We also have enrichment sessions where you can add things into the environment, things like really big killer whale-sized toys. Each toy is veterinarian approved, and they're very, very sturdy to withstand thousands and thousands pounds of a killer whale. We can also use things like ice cubes, sugarless and flavorless gelatin, clapping and cheering for the whales, and we even sometimes throw dance parties for them. We also have playtime sessions, which include those toys that I just mentioned. We can sometimes combine those ice cubes and that sugarless and flavorless gelatin in order to create extra fun toys. We also have relationship building sessions. Everything that we do with our animals is voluntary. It's up to them whether or not they would like to participate. And currently our 2 male killer whales are showcasing that right now. If you've seen our Orca encounter presentation before, you may know that it usually goes off without a hitch, but sometimes the whales decide that they want to do something else, and that is totally okay. Here at SeaWorld, we have 5 killer whales total. We have 3 female killer whales, Katina, Nalani, and Malia, and then our 2 male killer whales are Truva and Makayo. They have a very strong social structure, and sometimes they just want to spend more time with one another or within that social structure than with us as trainers. So the best thing for us to do is to take a step back, let them have a moment to spend more time with one another and interact in the way that they want to interact. We also have a system of 7 pools, all connected by 13 doorways that we can open and close to make different configurations with our pools. Currently, our 2 male killer whales have access to the environment in front of you, but they also have access to one in the back. So, we most likely asked our 2 male killer whales to move into one of those back pools after our opening segment, and they decided, you know what, I want to spend more time in this front environment right here. And again, that's totally okay. Here at SeaWorld, we use positive reinforcement through operant conditioning, which means that we reward the things that we like to see, and if there's something that isn't necessary what we asked for, we'll simply just take a pause, give the whales a moment, and then we'll try again. We have a lot of different ways that we can communicate with the whales. We can use these really long poles with a buoy on the end of it. It's called a target pole, and it's just an extension of our hands. You may have seen them used on either side throughout our opening segment earlier. The whales have excellent hearing, both above and below the water, and sound travels 4 times faster underwater than it does through the air. So by tapping the surface of the water with that target pole, they can hear the location, and it helps remind them where we would like them to do a specific behavior. Over on the stage, we also have a box with 10 different buttons on it. Each button creates a sound underwater on an underwater speaker, and each sound correlates to a different behavior. The whales have learned to distinguish those 10 different sounds and correlate them to those 10 different behaviors. In addition to sound, we can also use our entire bodies. You may have seen the trainers on stage use hand signals, which is like a form of sign language that we've created to communicate with the whales as well. We can use those hand signals to indicate different behaviors, but we can also use our entire bodies. Killer whales learn a lot through mimicry and observational learning, so oftentimes different parts of our bodies have been taught to correlate to different parts of their bodies as well. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we train using positive reinforcement, which means when the whales do choose to participate with us, we want to make sure we give them a big reward as a thank you. Sometimes that looks like ice cubes, or it looks like that sugarless and fructose gelatin that I mentioned earlier. We can add food coloring to it and make it into really fun shapes.
Counting the trash. Facebook.